Kinetics is the time dependence of chemical reactions and processes, and it can be demonstrated using dyes as a visual. We performed our experiment over a course of 3 phases, changing variables along the way.
For our first phase, we combined our 3.0 times 10 to the negative 6 molar red dye with a 7.02 pH buffer. In our other trials, we used a 4.02 pH buffer and a 10.01 pH buffer, but we chose to show just the 7.02 pH buffer. Using a spectrometer, we measured the change in concentration over a span of 5 minutes. As you can see, the concentration of the red dye did not change over the 5 minutes. We moved on to phase 2 to see if we could get our dye to fade. This time we added our 3.0 times 10 to the negative 6 molar red dye to the same 7.02 pH buffer, but raised the temperature to be between 45 and 55 degrees Celsius during our 5 minutes. This time we noticed some fading of the dye. As you can see on this graph, the data shows the degradation of the concentration of red dye. The initial concentration was 1.9 times 10 to the negative 6 molar, but by the end of the 5 minutes, the concentration of the red dye was 1.7 times 10 to the negative 6 molar.
In phase 3, we tested how a redox reaction would affect the concentration of the dye. We mixed a 4.0 times 10 to the negative 5th molar red dye with 0.61 molar OCl-, also known as bleach. After mixing 2 milliliters of our dye and 2 milliliters of our bleach, we could see the dye visibly fading. Next, we recorded the absorbance values using a spectrometer and then plotted the points in Excel. We plotted our concentration versus time, 1 over the concentration versus time, and the natural log of the concentration versus time. As you can see, the first order graph is the most linear, with an R-squared value of 0.998. To calculate the order of the bleach, we varied the concentrations of dye and bleach, and plugged these values into the method of initial rates equation. By using this calculation, we determined the order of the bleach to also be 1. In conclusion, kinetics are shown when the temperature is raised with dye and a buffer, as well as in a redox reaction of dye and bleach. This is why if you're wearing a red shirt and get splashed with bleach, the shirt will become spotty. Thanks for watching, and keep your clothes away from bleach.